Je anilo premadano karma kacho.
Go ahead. Today, devotees, disciples are celebrating Vyasa Puja, the spiritual master. So, I personally am very full, and I should not accept any kind of respect. But it is their duty to offer respect to their spiritual master on this day. So, I see them all as manifestations of my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And whatever respect they will offer today, I simply will wish to present it to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So later this morning, please give permission that this Vyasa Puja may be celebrated, and give everyone the blessings that it will be celebrated and nicely. So we'll start. Om Jnanatimarandasya Janam Janasalakaya Chaksurabhilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapantam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jata Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagunara Gunatan Nitam Stratam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahavana Lalita Sri Vishakanatam Swam Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Askata Deshatadine Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gode Tishe Namaha Hey Krishna Parana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Kananami Hari Priye Panchakalpataru Vaishya Vipashindu Vivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 17, Text number 31. Yadita Asrijaj Characharam Sva Maya Atma Shraya Vitakshaya Maya Atma Shraya Vitakshaya Tayaiva So Yam Iva Goptum Uddita Katam Nu Mam Dharma Haro Jigam Sati Ya etat adavas vijat characharam Samayayatma Shraya Avitarkyaya Ayaivanyo Soyam Kila Goptamadyata Katam Numam Dharma Pado Jigamsati Ya etat adavrat slajat characharam Samayaya Atma Shraya Avitarkyaya Ayaiva Soyam Kila Goptamudyata Katam Numam Dharma Paro Jigamsati Mataji's moving and non-moving living entities. Samayaya. By his own potency. Atma Ashraya. Sheltered under his own protection. Avitarkyaya. Inconceivable. Taya. By that same Maya. Eva. Certainly. Saha. He. Ayam. This king. Kila. Certainly. Goptum. Prepared to give protection. Katam. How. Nu. then Mam, me, Dharmapada, one who is strictly following religious principles. Jigam Sati, desires to kill. Translation of purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the beginning of creation, you created all these moving and non-moving living entities by your inconceivable energy. Through this very same energy, you are now prepared to protect the living entities. Indeed, you are the supreme protector of religious principles. Why are you so anxious to kill me, even though I am in the form of a cow? Purport. The planet Earth argues that there is no doubt that one who creates can also annihilate by his sweet will. The planet Earth questions why she should be killed when the Lord is prepared to give protection to everyone. After all, it is the earth that is the resting place for all other living entities, and it is the earth that produces grains for them. So, this argument, which is being presented here by the earth in the form of a cow, is a similar argument which we also state in regard to taking the life of another. Unless one gives life, what right do they have to take it? So, this is the same principle in terms of our food which we eat. What is that? Yes. One living entity is food for another. So, this principle has to be understood in the sense that we are not actually allowed to kill any living entity. In fact, we see in the Isha Upanishad the word Atmahana, a killer of the soul. So, what to speak of killing another living entity in a gross physical way, we don't even want to hurt their consciousness. Atmahana means killer of the soul. The soul cannot be killed. So when it is stated Atmahana means killing of the soul, it also means killing of the body. But when it says killing of the soul, it means to damage another person's consciousness. So that is not permitted. So certainly we do not have the right to deprive another of his body. Why? Because every living entity has the right to fulfill their natural lifespan, to finish up the karma that is connected with that particular body. If someone is killed prematurely, then that living entity again has to take birth in the same, similar type of body to still fulfill that karmic reaction. And so we are interfering with their progress towards the human form of life and ultimately towards Krishna consciousness. And therefore it is stated that no one should in any way kill another living entity in the form of his progress. So if someone is going to kill, for example, when we have to sometimes eat vegetables, we have to kill. We don't have the right to kill. But those vegetables are being offered to the Supreme Lord. And as He is the giver of life, so He also has the right to take life. This is the idea here. As He can give life, He can take. So, the earth admits that since Prithu Maharaj is the incarnation of God and is the giver of life, He does have the right to take. And no one can say that God can become covered by any kind of karmic reaction. Because karma means within the modes of material nature. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond the modes of material nature. He is not in any way touched by any of the three modes. Therefore, He is not in any way affected by karma. For example, when He comes within this world, his coming here is different than ours. When we come within this world, it is the result of karma. Our sinful actions are bearing their fruit, and we have to fulfill them through another birth. But when God comes within this world, he comes within his own nature, Atma Maya. He comes in that Maya means his energy, and it is the spiritual energy of the Lord, never the material energy. Now again, we hear about this energy, Maya, Swamaya, his own potency. His own potency means that the Supreme Lord has many, many potencies. As we were describing last night, the spiritual potency is Vishuddhasattva, the combination of eternity, knowledge, and blissfulness. Sandini, Samvit, and Haladini form together to be Vishuddhasattva. This is Vasudeva Sattva, the position of pure goodness, and it is the position in which the Supreme Lord eternally exists. So everything he does through that internal potency. And he never does anything directly with the material energy. He's also got unlimited energies. And they act in inconceivable ways. Therefore, they are described Achinta Shakti. Inconceivable energies. And they do so many things which cannot be understood in an ordinary sense. They seem to be contradictory. The Supreme Lord seems to have qualities which are contradictory in what they mean. For example, where it says that he has no eyes, and yet he sees everywhere. He has no eyes means not material sense organs as we have, but spiritual eyes. Eyes which can perform any and every type of function that any other part of the body. Angani yasya sakalendir priti manti. His senses are interchangeable in what they can do. So, one of those things which he does is his act of protection, giving protection. Creation, in this verse, is mentioned creation. In the beginning of creation, you created all these moving and non-moving living entities. Certainly, this strikes at the root of modern material science, which states that creation took place by a chance, random movement of molecules or atoms, which we don't accept, of course. Krishna, God, is the basis of life. And also this verse describes protection. Protection is one of the principal subject matters of the Bhagavatam. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatuskritam. This is how he gives protection, by killing the demons. By killing the demons, by killing the demoniac element, by killing the doubts. There are so many ways in which the Lord protects us. And we are always praying for his protection. And how does he do it? Through his energy. And that's why you see Srimati Radharani lifting her hand, blessing the devotees. That blessing is Krishna's protection. That you are promised that I will protect you, Krishna says. And he does so, and he indicates that through the blessing hand of Srimati Radharani. So, therefore, the devotee is fearless, abad. And therefore, Prabhupada, his father, always prayed to visiting sadhus, please make my son a firm devotee of Srimati Radharani. And he named his son Abhay. One who is fearless, Abhay Charanaravinda. One who is fearless for having taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. But Krishna kills all the demons. And Krishna's devotees, on knowing the desire of the Lord, they are also at war with the demoniac elements. And that war is performed through the process of spreading this Krishna Consciousness movement. To spread the Krishna Consciousness movement means to declare war on Maya. So in order to fight, each one of us has to be individually very fit. If we are victimized by Maya, then how can we possibly push back Maya from anyone else's door? Therefore, we take shelter of Srimati Bhakti Devi. Srimati Radharani is the personification of Bhakti. And she bestows Bhakti Shakti upon all of her devotees. And therefore, we're always praying for the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And we chant Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. We pray that she bless us with Bhakti Shakti. Just like Narad Muni is the incarnation, you could say. He is empowered, Avesha. He's a Sakti Avesha avatar. He's empowered incarnation of the Lord, and his empowerment is with this Bhakti Shakti. Simply by his blessing, he can give someone pure devotional service. How is that shown? By the way he blessed Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj did not apparently do anything to deserve to become a pure devotee of the Lord. Yet simply by the well wishes of his guru, Narad Muni, he was still in the womb of his mother, but by the instruction and well wishes of his guru, he became a pure devotee with prema, love for Krishna. So this prema is generally developed in association with sadhus. This is the normal method. By the performance of sadhana bhakti, just like Narad Muni himself, he performed the different angas of sadhana bhakti. What is that? He heard from the sadhus. And he heard from the sadhus, and he rendered some service to the sadhus. Nasta prayeshu bhadreshu nitam bhagavata sevaya. He heard Bhagavatam, he served the person's Bhagavatam. Tanvini paripatena pariprashnena seva. He rendered service to the Guru. And so, by their kindness, he got to eat little remnants of foodstuff, which had been offered to these great saintly persons. These are all different parts of sadhana bhakti. And as a result, he developed bhava, love or ecstasy, ecstatic love for the Supreme Lord. And gradually, all of the symptoms of prema manifested upon his form. So generally, this is the way, by the rigid performance of sadhana bhakti and by the constant association of Bhagavatas, devotees who are on the path of pure devotional service. By reading Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing the spotless narrations about Krishna and his eternal associates, and by serving those followers of those associates of the Lord, then one generally becomes advanced to the stage of bhava and prema. Sometimes there is some special arrangement of the Lord. One can become a pure devotee simply by the Lord's glance, simply by his blessings. These are also possible, just like it's described at the residence of the Jangala province. They simply saw the beautiful form of the Lord and they became filled with ecstatic love for God. But that is a very special case, that without any previous process, following of any process, that one develops love of God. Just like it is explained that it is very unusual for someone to get an honorary degree from a university. Normally, one has to follow rigidly the educational process. Similarly, normally one has to undergo, and we should undergo, all of the different parts of the bhakti process. But at every moment we should know that we are fully dependent upon the merciful blessings and well wishes of the Vaishnavas. Otherwise, nothing is possible. one offends the Vaishnavas, then he cannot make any advancement. And if he becomes blessed by the Vaishnavas, then any kind of offense can be ultimately forgiven. Krishna acts through the devotee. Krishna extends his mercy to us through his devotee. In every shape, in the ability of ours to understand the process of devotional life, we understand it in the association of devotees. And this is the reason why we live with devotees of the Lord. It's not possible otherwise. And this is why Prabhupada stressed so much association. Association means we learn how to serve. We get the opportunity to render service. When one lives with so many devotees, one constantly gets opportunity to be of service to others. So this service spirit is a very special blessing of Radharani. Srimati Radharani is the most expert servant of Krishna. Just like yesterday we were speaking about how Srimati Radharani cooks for Lord Krishna. And just the other day, who is also the most perfect of all cooks, still she arranges for Srimati Radharani to cook for Krishna. She arranges for to cook for Krishna because her cooking is so perfect that she can cook all the different things. Each gopi has some special preparations they know how to make. Just like different ladies are good at cooking certain things. And each gopi is good at cooking certain things. But Radharani is perfect in cooking everything. So she captures Krishna through her cooking. She also captures Krishna through her dancing. That's why you see her always in a dancing pose. Because her dancing is so nice that Krishna becomes completely bewildered watching her dance. The dancing captures Krishna's attention. The way in which she dresses captures Krishna's attention. The way in which she sometimes becomes angry with Krishna captures his attention. Everything that she does gives pleasure to Krishna. Therefore she is known as the pleasure potency of the Lord. So, this should be our interest. How to become a useful tool in the hands of the servants of Srimati Radharani, so that we can also be a pleasure for Krishna. And therefore we require to be trained and guided by the superior Vaishnavas. Otherwise, we are blind, foolish, and ignorant. And we do not know how to proceed on the path of devotional life. So a safe and protected way is always beneath the lotus feet of the advanced devotees, the senior devotees. This is actually the way in which we get protection. So far as material body is concerned, there is no possibility of ultimate protection. Because one who is born in this world must die, at least the body must die. The material body is destined to be destroyed sooner or later. Therefore, simply to protect oneself in terms of one's body is a useless endeavor. We may try to maintain it for some time, and we should, as it is given to us to serve Krishna with. But ultimately, we should know that it is not going to last forever. Generally, people think that if they can eat nicely and they can sleep nicely, this is considered successful human life. But actually, eating and sleeping nicely simply means that one is warding off suffering. It is not real happiness. In fact, it is described, Sanatana Goswami describes, that the happiness of eating and sleeping is no better than the happiness of impersonal realization of the Lord. He uses this example. It says that the impersonalist bliss is like a person who thinks he's happy because he eats nicely and sleeps nicely. He says actually eating and sleeping nicely simply means that during that time you're not suffering. And similarly, impersonal realization of God, merging in oneness with the Lord, simply means to end the suffering of being in this material world. But it is nothing compared to the bliss of pure devotional service at the lotus feet of Krishna. In the same way, that same fact is true within our ordinary life, within our life in this world. That the worldly pleasures, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, may be very attractive to those who are suffering in material life and do not know anything about the glories of pure devotional service. But for one who has tasted the pleasure of serving Krishna, all of these other things are very insignificant. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, even liberation is considered to be insignificant. So we are very fortunate to have so many protectors. And we should see all of these protectors as ultimately the manifestation of our spiritual master. The spiritual master is the manifestation of Krishna's mercy. Krishna appears before our eyes as Sri Gurudev, the spiritual master. And the disciple should see his god brothers as the manifestation of the mercy of his spiritual master. And he should see even his disciples as the manifestation of the mercy of his spiritual master. So the spiritual master comes in so many forms, and therefore he is always to be served. Our one business in life is to render service. We simply serve our spiritual master. This is the sum and substance of the devotee's life. He serves his spiritual master in so many ways. He may serve through serving his disciple, his service to his guru. He serves his god brothers, his service to his guru. He serves this ISKCON movement, his service to his guru. So, Guru Seva and Guru Kripa, the mercy of the spiritual master. Yasya Prashada, Bhagavat Prashada, Yasya Prashada, Nakatir Kuto. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one can make so much advancement. And without his merciful glance, everything is finished. So we simply try to know, how can I be of service to you? How can I be pleasing to you? But we have to know how to recognize him. We have to know how he comes to us. One should not simply think that he is fixed in one place, that the Guru is fixed in one place, or that in some case the Guru has disappeared if he physically is not present. That is not at all a fact. Because the Guru is a manifestation of Baladev. And by the Shakti, by the energy, by the mercy of Baladev, the Guru can do inconceivable things. Therefore, sometimes it is asked, how is it possible for us to offer food to a picture of the spiritual master and doesn't accept it? Or is the spiritual master present in this picture? Yes, he's present in this picture, and yes, he accepts the food, because this is all done through the mercy and energy of Baladev, Baladev Shakti, of whom the Guru is a manifestation. So Baladev is served by Achinta Shakti. He has inconceivable potency, and therefore you cannot conceive of how it is materially possible, because it is inconceivable. But that is one of his powers. One of Balaram's powers is that he has energies which can do inconceivable things. So he acts through the spiritual master, who is his representation. The spiritual master is seen as the manifestation or representation of Balaram or Srimati Radharani. Radharani bestows bhakti, and the Guru bestows that same bhakti through his different means, by connecting one, Bhakti Pradarshik Guru, by giving instruction, Shiksha Guru, by giving initiation, Diksha Guru, and all of these are meant to bring one closer. Initiation means that process by which one comes closer to Krishna. So the Guru is that person who brings one closer to Krishna. And therefore, he is the representative of Srimati Radharani. So, service to Guru means service to Krishna. Service to Guru means service to Radha. And Radharani is the foremost servant of Krishna. And Prabhupada said that when you get favored by Srimati Radharani, she tells Krishna that, my dear Krishna, this devotee is more sincere than I am. Please be kind upon her. And without her merciful intercession, how can we possibly, in our very fallen condition, ever be able to be of any meaning to Lord Krishna? It is by her mercy. So, we can see Bhumi, the earth, here is praying to Prithu Maharaj that you please be kind upon me. Please be kind upon me. She has this direct connection with the Lord. We don't have direct connection, but we pray to the representative of Krishna, please be kind upon me. By your mercy only am I living. So we must pray to all those who we see as representing the spiritual master and the Lord. You please be kind upon me. Keep me always in devotional life. That is our prayer. The worst of all condemnations is to be cast away from association with the devotees. And the best of all good fortune is to always be closely entwined in association with the devotees. So we're very happy that this day we can have so many devotees come together, and I personally accept all of you as manifestations of Srila Prabhupada's merciful protection upon me. That by your association only am I maintaining my spiritual life. So I pray on this day that you all always give me your association and kindness and mercy, as you have always great kindness done. Everybody has been far, far more kind to me than I personally deserve. So I'm very happy that you could come here today. And as I said earlier, that I'm not in any way, it is not proper for me to take any kind of respect. I'm very fallen. But it is the duty of disciples to offer some appreciation for the spiritual master. So I simply take it that you are praising Krishna and his eternal associates, the pure devotees, who you are seeing in me on this day. So I pass to them who are actually worthy of this respect, whatever you are showing to me. So we'll stop here. Anybody have any comments or questions?
I have a question about fear.
About what?
Fear. Explain. Devotees, one of the qualities of devotees is fearless. Specifically, in the Sanatara ashram, we're supposed to be fearless. On the other hand, Bhaktivedanta Swami was speaking Maharaj Krishna. He said, if you want to become fearless, you have to engage in this hearing and chanting. And we also see that in the beginning of devotional service, is fear. These are images performing by the Bhakti. Fear of displeasing the spiritual master, fear of not getting out and chanting my grounds, fear of not following the regular principles, fear of Maya. So what stage of spiritual advancement of Nartanagriti, Nishta Ruchi, Prema Bhava, do we become fearless?
Yeah. In this, the fearless stage is attained when you don't fall down anymore. When one cannot fall down anymore. That means in the most advanced stage of Bhava, or Prema, when one has pure love for God, and one does not fall down, then the fear that one has is a different type of fear. So then the fear becomes a type of fear which is very pleasing to the Lord. Just like sometimes we see that Krishna's dealings with his eternal devotees, like Mother Yasoda, when Krishna became swept up by the whirlwind demon, so she became very fearful of what would happen to Krishna. So that type of fear is pleasing to the Lord. So that type of fear is possible when one has pure love for Krishna. And she has no material fear. In other words, as long as we have got this conception of the material body, there will be fearfulness. But when there's no longer any more material body, when actually one becomes liberated, then there's no question of fearfulness. So that is the process. That's the stage when you get Krishna. Radha praying of Krishna. Love for Radha and Krishna. Krishna's lotus feet, and actually have that love fully, if your heart is full of such love for Radha Krishna, then there's no place for fear. But the fear may come as a service to Krishna, just like the soda sometimes becomes fear. And that fear deepens your love for Krishna, whereas material fear does not necessarily. It may act as a guard or warning, as a humbling quality, but the most pure form of fear is seen in the internal associates. But fear is not bad. Even in the sadhana bhakti process, fear is not bad. Fear of committing offenses is not a bad thing. One should act according to his level of advancement. He should not imitate a more advanced position. So if we are in a certain position where fall down is possible, where offenses are possible, then surely we should be fearful of such things. And not to be fearful means to fall down, and one will fall down surely. So fear is not bad. But we are not afraid. When it says fearless, fearless means that we are not afraid of what may befall this body if it is Krishna's desire. We are not afraid of anything if it is Krishna's desire. We are afraid of everything, however, which is done, which is not Krishna's desire. So it's Krishna's. That's why Maharaj Parikshit was not afraid of death, because he knew it was the Lord's desire. So he was fearless, because he's Krishna's pure devotee. But if he had thought for a moment that it was not Krishna's desire, then he would have been afraid that I'm displeasing the Lord. Another question? Alright, so we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Lord Bhaktivedanta ki jai.